All right, how you doing out there, everybody? It's Captain Jack here.
All right, how you doing out there, everybody?
1 second.
Captain Jack here. All right, how you
Gonna
doing?
have
1 second.
Gonna have 1 second. Ooh, I don't know why I'm getting that feedback here.
I don't know why I'm getting that feedback here. I don't know why I'm getting that feedback here.
This happened yesterday too. I had it like where I was getting, I was on, and then I was getting the sounds, and then I was getting it again and again and again. There's 4 of me. Okay, that's got to be a problem.
That's got to be a problem.
Okay. So it's got to be a problem with OBS.
It's got to be a problem with OBS.
Okay. What will probably, is there still 4 of me?
What will probably, is there still 4 of me?
Is there still 4 pictures of me?
Is there still 4 pictures of me?
Well, we got 4 people here. If you could see 4 of me, let me know. That's an issue. Okay, 4 voices. Okay, what we're gonna do is, and I don't know why it's occurring. This is the same issue that I had yesterday. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Do I still have 4 voices? I'm not sure about that. I'm hoping that that's not going to be an issue. I've been trying to work out the bugs. I just got rid of OBS on my computer. If you got rid of the 4 sounds, then we'll be going good with this. I got rid of the sounds. So you only hear me once, correct? Yes, no. I apologize. It's one of these things where I'm working out the glitches. All right, outstanding. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm trying to go through the getting things squared away with the OBS system, and apparently there's issues with it. I don't know whether it's because of the with the Bose speakers doing the 4 things, but I got rid of OBS, and so that it's off my system right now, and I will go ahead and I will update it again later on. But I can't have 4 sounds, 4 Captain Jacks. I want to get the best broadcast out there, and this is a little bit of a long-winded what do you call it? Bottom line up front. Welcome to the show. You know that Captain Jack is here, and I always do my bottom line up front, so we'll get that good to go. Thank you for joining me tonight. We have 6 people in here already. That's a good sign. And I know Ed Winchell is there because he's been commenting up his ass. There you go. Matt Marinovich is in there too. Thank you. Again, thanks for working with me. If we have the problems, feel free to let me know. Okay, December 3rd, I guess that's your wedding day, correct there, AJ? What day is that? December 3rd. What is that, a weekend? Oh, wow, wait a second. That's the Kansas City game, isn't it? I think I'm already going to Kansas City, AJ. Gosh darn, because Tuesday. Okay, good. So it's after Kansas City. Good. I can go to the Kansas City game and then go to Las Vegas. Okay, that we'll work on that. We'll work on that because I haven't made my arrangements yet. So again, I know that I'm going to Kansas City on December 1st for the Raiders at Kansas City game, and we're going through that as well. And so to your wedding on the 3rd, I think we might be able to do that. Getting back to the bottom line up front, I'm actually broadcasting here on Twitter as well. If you're watching me on Twitter, looks like nobody's watching me on Twitter, so oh well. But I am broadcasting on Twitter just as an advertisement. If you're watching me here on Twitter, and it looks like I don't see any comments. I'm trying to see what no. I don't see anything here. Yep, no followers. Hey, such is life. And happy Memorial. Actually, and I understand it's on Veterans Day and Memorial Day. I hate saying Happy Memorial Day. It's a somber event. I understand that there's no bad input for that you want to, express yourself, but I just can't say Happy Memorial Day. Can't say Happy Veterans Day, Happy Memorial Day. It's like I always say, remember the fallen. Remember the fallen. Remember our veterans. Remember those that died for our cause. So again, that's what and again, I know that there's no hate and discontent, Matt. Jared, I got you. I know we all say it. We all say it. But it's something that I want to put out there to all of the folks here that it's not happy anything. It's remember the fallen. Remember our veterans. Remember those that have given their lives for our country. So again, I'm just here. I'm going to close up the Twitter. If you're here on Twitter, thank you for at least coming and seeing this. Go over to the YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/C/Captain Jack Rackham Levy. I'm going to turn this off right now. We'll get that done. And we're going to stop the broadcast on Twitter. We stop the broadcast. We're going to view. I don't want to view the stats because it's 0. But we'll get folks over there. If you're here on the broadcast, thanks. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why that there's that echo or that there's 4 voices. There's 4 voices. And that was our problem yesterday, was that we had, there's 4 of you. There's 4 of you. I mean, and it was that sound. It kept breaking down. And it was the install of the OBS system. And for some reason, ever since I installed it, there was that sound, that reverb. There was like the echoes, like in a canyon, and I can't have that. I can't have that. So we're gonna make sure we're gonna try to figure it out. But again, bottom line up front, while we are accepting. Oh, let me play to the camera here. While we are remembering our veterans, also a somber day for the pro football, in that we lost Bart Starr within the last 24 hours, the great person that Bart Starr was. The first 5-time winner of the NFL championship, obviously NFL championship / Super Bowls, first 5-time winner there. So let's all remember Bart Starr and keep kind thoughts about that. Rest in peace to Bart Starr. And again, a somber event as we do our Memorial Day. Now, for Raider Nation, and it's a good thing I didn't get rid of the broadcast. I was about ready to put an X on this. I'm glad that I just got rid of the sounds. I might have to do that. Probably we'll have to work on the outro music, but we'll see how that goes. Bart Starr is probably, one of the greatest of all time. I agree with you there. So, as we remember him. Bottom line up front, to finish it up here, I know that Ed Winchell and I know that the Elder is going to talk about the greatest team in the National League, and those would be those Los Angeles Dodgers with 35 wins. But again, best team in the NL, and I'll give them that. And they're going to play the Mets tomorrow, so good. Let them go beat up on the Mets. So best in the NL, obviously, are the Dodgers with a .660 win percentage. Best team in baseball, though, still the Minnesota Twinkies with 36 wins, followed closely behind by the Houston Astros at 35 wins. And followed closely behind them with the New York Yankees with 34 wins. So again, the American League looks to be the league that's just going to be, it's way up for grabs. National League to a point as well looks to be the Dodgers plus somebody, and we'll see who that somebody is. But again, looking good as far as the Dodgers for all those folks there. Yep, they smoked the Pirates and the Yankees. Yeah, so we know about that. I'm looking forward. Here's the thing, though. And I was talking with a Phillies fan about this as well. And again, okay, it's my team. It's the Phillies. But it's like if you go into these 3-game series and these 4-game series, if you split a 4-gamer, which the Phillies did with the Cubs, and you win 2 out of 3 of the 3-game series, you're going to win 100 games. And as far as I can see, the Phillies are going to win 100 games, knock wood, without any of these major injuries. But I think that the Phillies are looking good for that. In respect for the National Basketball Association, I'm wearing my champions shirt and hat for the Golden State Warriors. To me, it's a foregone conclusion that the Warriors are going to win. Now, I don't think that they're going to win in a sweep. Okay, I don't think they're going to win in the sweep, but I think that the Warriors are pretty much gonna be winning. I'd say at least, I was about ready to say that, Jared. Warriors in 6. I think the Raptors will take at least 2, but ultimately, I think it's going to be the Warriors winning that. As the Phillies can't beat the Dodgers in 7, we'll see. It's all about injuries. It's all about players playing up to their potential at the right time. So we'll see. I mean, let's, for example, Jared's Pirates, okay? Jared's Pirates might come back and blow smoke and just take over everybody in the National League. Likely? No, but it can happen. And Jared, actually, wow, that's a good question. And I'm going to open up the phone lines in a minute. The elder Raider Reverend AJ Brahue and myself were having that Durant discussion last time. And, the elder Raider Rev AJ Brahue thinks that Durant's going to go to the Lakers. I say no way in hell will Durant go to Los Angeles. He wants his own team. And so can he do that in New York? Sure. With the right people in New York. But actually, I also think that if Kevin Durant is smart, he might look at going to New Orleans, where New Orleans is going to have Zion Williamson, possibly if Kevin goes there, and some room to get a couple other good players, plus whoever they get when they trade away the Brow, Anthony Davis, they can have an instant, very strong team. So I'm thinking that, that might be a good place for him. That's the answer to that question. And so the Elder thinks that the Toronto's going to win. We'll see. I mean, I tell you what, who's the MVP right now? Right now, it's Kawhi Leonard. It's got to be Kawhi Leonard, the way he's playing out of his mind. He's still playing right now, whereas James Harden is not. Matt Marinovich thinks that Durant's going to go to Kyrie in New York. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing where they go. And having said that, let's get out. Oh wow, there's actually. Oh, okay, it's YouTube. Okay, got it. So YouTube is actually playing the broadcast here on the comments. So I'm seeing that. Okay, so I'm seeing it twice. I got it. I did put up the phone. So it is available. Line is open, 813-699-0834. Again, remember the fallen. Rest in peace to Mr. Bart Starr. There's Raider news as well. There is Raider news as well. The first what do you call it? Depth chart is out. And I find it interesting that the starting slot receiver is Hunter Renfrow. Good. That means something to me. Also, Ryan Grant is behind him. Starting tight end, like we were talking about, Waller with Carrier as his number 2. Blocking tight end, it says Luke Wilson over Foster Moreau. We'll see about that. But, I like to see that depth chart. It's running back 1 and running back 2, obviously Jacobs and Martin. They got Warren playing behind Jacobs, we'll see. And DeAndre is third string. I don't think DeAndre makes the team. I really don't. Surprisingly, though, what I think is probably one of the biggest surprises is that wide receiver 1 backup to Antonio Brown is listed as J.J. Nelson. Wow. That's surprising. That is surprising to me. So we'll see. Also, some other news for around the league. Obviously, if you haven't figured it out or haven't heard it, Nick Bosa's already hurt. But it's not just Nick Bosa being hurt. It's the fact that Williams is already hurt. All these guys, Josh Allen, already hurt. So we'll see what happens with these guys that did a bunch of training for their draft status. But then when push comes to shove, they're already hurt. So I already got I'm going to iconize this. I'm going to move this over so I can look at the comments. The line is open. Hopefully I'll be able to hear you. If not, I got the sound on. Yeah, on Realtek. So we're not going to have Bose for that, but hopefully I'll be able to hear the sound. I'm pretty sure I will be. But the line is open. I'd love to hear from you. Again, it is, you don't know jack about sports. It's a Sunday night. It's 9:19 on the East Coast. Mike Arline, good to see you as well. Well, okay. Now, wait a second. Told you JJ would make the team. It's May. We'll see what happens. We'll see. And if we're going to go to that, where's that? Let me get that back up here. The depth chart. Okay. How many wide receivers? You normally keep about, I want to say 5, because number 6 is normally the special teams guy, and in this case would be Dwayne Harris right now. So, and you know that Hunter Renfrow is going to make the team. Okay. I got AJ Elder. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can, Salt.
Okay, I'm glad I can hear you, and that was the important thing, was I wanted to make sure that I could hear you, because again, I told
you JJ would make the team. I told you.
I told you. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, let me see. Is he catching anything in pads against the defense right now? No.
No, see, I'm gonna tell you why I believe he's sitting at number 2.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Gruden is you got to look back. You had James Jett on the team. At such a time, you had was it Jacoby Ford in them?
Right.
I mean, way back when. Gruden likes speed. He's a throwback. That's why Al Davis got him.
Yeah.
Because up in Philly, before he was the head coach for the Raiders, they had fast guys, and they saw that fastest thing in the north east was going down there. And Gruden's an offensive guru. He likes some speed, and who doesn't? If you're an offensive guy and you get on offense after defenses, sat down on the bench playing whatever series they did, you want something that can get down there in less than a 2-minute drill. And you got guys in AB. You got the tall receiver out of from the former Chokers down there in
Terrell Williams.
LA. And I like him, but he to me is a red zone threat. So who are you going to stretch the field? And honestly, you got to keep the defense honest. So you got AB, you got a tight end, you got a hell of a running back. Okay, who else are you going to put out there to make sure that AB doesn't always get double or triple teamed?
Okay, well,
so when you bring down that safety, you got to have somebody that goes one-on-one. And if they do that, Carr's got to step out and burn them every time.
Let me stop you right there, though. If that's it, see, your speedster that was signed and is the WR2 starter is Terrell Williams. That's what Terrell Williams does. What is surprising to me is right now they have J.J. Nelson as AB's backup, where in my mind, if you're going to go pick 2 speedsters, sure. But wouldn't it be better to put AB with Marcel Aitman, who's the number 4 guy out there, with Aitman being his understudy and J.J. Nelson being the understudy for Terrell Williams? Flip-flop the guys, then it makes sense. The fact that they have J.J. Nelson as the backup to AB and they have Aitman as the backup to Terrell Williams, to me, that's what is a little bit, I don't know, not quite right.
See, they're why you're saying that is why Gruden did that. Now, think real quick. Why would you want to do that? And you just answered your own question to around the rest of the league. And we probably don't want to say it too loudly. They're doing it to back up the safety so that they can't stack the box, so that Jacobs can have an honest run with that big offensive line. If you put enough threat out there for burning, you can't put a bump and run. You got to give them some respectable space of 10 yards or more, and the safeties can't really stack the box because they need to go. If they're playing the dime, they got to come down and cover on the back side, up top on the wide receiver. One's got to cover the middle. The other guy's going to be one-on-one. So that leaves Carr the option to throw it on a play action or let Jacobs have his way and run, which Gruden loves to do, the pound and ground.
Yeah, but
that's why he's doing it.
I just don't get it. Maybe it's because it's simple for you, but are you going to take AB out of the game in order for J.J. Nelson to play with Terrell Williams, both doing 9 patterns?
I think it's going to be a back and forth. He's going to milk the clock. He's going to dig with the run, as he had Tyrone Wheatley, Zach Crockett, and Charlie Garner back when. And you remember we had a tight end back then. Was it Doug Jolly at the time?
Well, also it was Williams.
Yeah, there you go. That the African American guy. I remember him. He was
Williams,
full of joy.
great guy,
personality.
Yeah, great guy.
But the thing is, I think Gruden, and everybody knows him, he loves to run the ball, and he's going to be motioning. Did he just do this just to throw people off? Because you got to know that the guy from the Chargers is going to come in, and you didn't just sign him for nothing. But for kicks and giggles, yeah, I'd put it out there like that, because you don't want to, as the game of poker is, you don't show your hand. You can play with a pair of 2s, but you want to act like they're aces. you have to represent something else to get people to come on in and then, go all in on them. But I don't think J.J. Nelson is a fluff. He's a veteran wide receiver. He came into the league posting some of the better 40 scores in the draft when he came out. And I was astonished that we didn't pick him up on all the things we did miss on over the years, but we do have an opportunity now to really light it up. And I think they're going to come out with a new playbook as well.
Well, we'll see about the one thing about J.J. Nelson is that he's like James Jett. He can run the fastest 40, but he can't seem to catch a cold. And that's been his knock. That's been his knock in Arizona. And you lived in Arizona all those years. And I know that you picked up on that, even though you're a Raiders fan.
I didn't watch them.
Okay, but
I didn't care.
but the point is that J.J. Nelson, while with the Cardinals, dropped a lot of easy passes. And if that's what happens here, like James, the only reason why James Jett stayed around for as long as he did was because there was really nobody else. There was really nobody else that could stretch.
Brown. Yeah, we had Tim Brown sitting there forever and a day.
Right. But you notice when it went to Brown and Rison and Porter, where was James Jett?
Yeah. It's a wonder, but I do know that J.J. Nelson is going to play some special teams and returns, and why not? Punt return, kick return, and some other project motion, hand the ball off to him, and he's going to go for yard if he can get out there in the open. But I'm not worried about it. We're stacked. Look around the league. There's not a lot of teams with the talent we have. I like our options. Real quick, I know you got to get other callers. Baseball, look here.
I see. I'm gonna go real quick. I want to get this caller.
I don't see anybody else beating my Dodgers, and it's the AL that I'm more worried about than the NL.
Okay, I got you there. I'll talk about that. I agree to a point. 850. You are. Oh, I missed my 850, and I got rid of the elder. So I 850. Call back again, and I wanted to comment on that because I wanted to try to catch the callers. 850 call back. I will comment on that there, elder Raider Rev, AJ, my brother. And by the way, let me work on December 3rd to getting out there to Vegas. Okay, talking about the National League. Right now, the Dodgers are the cream of the National League. We've already said that. They have the second most wins in baseball behind Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota with 36. Both the Dodgers and the Astros with 35, and then the Yankees with 34. Lots of activity in the American League. So, they're gonna beat up on each other in the American League. Right now, the Dodgers are the cream of the National League. I said it twice, so I'm not. So that I'm not just saying it to say it. Mike Arline's a big Dodgers fan as well. He said it as well. So you got some love out there as a Dodgers fan. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that can happen between now, the end of May, and the end of September. So that's what? May, June, July, August. That's 4 months. That's 4 months. That's what? 36, that's 120 days. A lot of things can happen in 120 days. Can Kershaw continue to do what he's doing? Because we discussed it the other night with his back. Is Kershaw going to have that bad back? Will Rich Hill have an issue? Will Ryu have an injury? Okay. Will something happen that we can't foresee? 120 days is a long time in any season, and especially in baseball, where you basically, it's almost you play every day. You occasionally have a day off. I know that the Rays are playing like 33 games in 33 days. So we'll see what happens there. And, right now, the Dodgers have it. Right now, the Dodgers are the cream of the National League. But remember, It's all about playing your best at the end of the year and hopefully getting through without the injuries. Thank you for calling back there, 850. Thank you for calling back. Who am I talking to at 850? Hello?
You there, Captain Jack?
Yes, I'm here. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to Chris Haley from Aiken, South Carolina.
Holy goodness, Chris Haley. Wow.
I just wish you a happy Memorial Day weekend. Tell you I'm proud of your service, and I love catching you on Facebook, pal.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm glad you came over to YouTube, because I keep telling people, if you want to watch me, you're going to have to watch me on YouTube.
Well, I finally found you, man. I love watching you, and I have to say, go Vols.
Go Vols.
I know you're a Gator, and
yeah. Hey, who won today?
You what now?
Who won today between UT and UF?
The women's softball, Florida won in overtime.
Okay,
extra innings.
Okay, because I was watching, and every time I see a UT game, I think of you, I think of your brother, and I think of my old partner in crime from Gitmo, who is a big UT guy. So trust me, every time I see UT, you guys are always on my mind.
Yeah, well, we have another home in Knoxville. We split time between here and South Carolina. When you want to go to a UF Tennessee game, you're always welcome, Chief. You know that. Oh,
I appreciate it, Chris. So tell me, now are we playing in? Is it this year we're playing down in Gainesville, or are we playing up there this year?
No, I think it's in Gainesville this year.
Okay, well, God praise, and I know that AJ is going to give me some positives. The elder, Raider Reverend, always got me good spirits and keeping up with my health. If I make it the next year, remind me that we're going to go. Get me some tickets, brother, and we'll go. I want to go to the UT game with you for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, it's great seeing you. Great talking to you, man. Don't be a stranger. Good job. I love listening to you.
Well, hey, Chris, thanks for calling in, man. Yeah, you got any comments about your? And I know that you're big college. Who's your pro team, Chris?
Well, my baseball team, Cincinnati Reds, because I grew up in Knoxville and we got Reds baseball on radio, but they haven't done much lately. And I know you're a big Phillies guy.
Gotcha.
As far as football goes, I'm a Tennessee Titan fan, of course. I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan with Roger Staubach.
I thought you did.
Those days are gone.
I thought that you were. Yeah, I thought you were a Cowboy guy. Well, anytime, and tell your brother Todd to make sure he calls in as well. And you guys can actually probably do a conference call, and we'll especially when it comes around for SEC football. We'll talk about that on this program. You don't know Jack. When we go to Sunday nights and it's Ask Captain Jack, it's pretty much all pros all the time. But for you, I might allow you to have about 2 minutes on UT football.
Thanks, pal. That'd be awesome, man. Have a great weekend.
All right. Hey, best to you, Chris. You take care of yourself and say hi to Todd for me.
I will, buddy.
All right. Take care, brother. For those that don't know, Chris Haley, who just called, was a long time schoolmate, classmate from elementary school and junior high and high school of myself, and I love him to death. And it's like, it's for him to call in just makes me feel wonderful. I mean, it's great hearing. And Chris, thank you so much. I'm going to try to make sure I get that number for the 850. I'll make sure that I got it called in. And wow, it's not charging anymore. So, well, gosh darn it. I thought it was. I thought my phone was charging. Well, I'm going to get to my phone before it runs out. Hopefully, anyway. But the line is open as I grab my phone here, see if I can do two things at once. And it's not happening. Good thing that that's not the camera that's working. Chris, I'll remember 850 is yours and when you call. Line is open, 813-699-0834. It's always good to have your friends and family call, and that's great. By the way, as far as baseball, we're just talking baseball. St. Louis has beaten Atlanta 3-0. It is the bottom of the 7th. So go Cards. You know, it's always good to see anybody beat the Braves, especially because the Braves are chasing my Phillies. So we got to see that. Hot Wheels, Dusty, thanks for coming in, brother. Thank you as well. Jared is talking to me. Too loaded at pitching and get a chance, but who are they play? Yeah, I guess Jared's talking about the Dodgers, central two-man chase. You got it, Milwaukee and Chicago. I tell you, it was great games between the Cubs and Phillies. Brian can keep playing. Well, you got it. Aryu's a guy who's going to doing good for their pitching. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if the Dodgers can sustain. Whoa. I hate doing that. I'm trying to turn off my phone, or at least get it out of the – I got it on one of the stands, and now I can't get it off the stand. So, there we go. Now I got it. So I'm going to charge this baby. But before I do, I'm going to make sure I get Chris Haley's number in here, because I don't want to lose that. Line is open, though, 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. Make sure your call. Oh, I did. Okay, so it came in. So, Chris, your number is already in here. Good to see you. Thank you there, brother. Thank you. I'm glad that I got you. It didn't show up on my caller ID, though. I don't know why. But that's okay. Doesn't matter. I still got you in here, and I'm looking forward to going to a Vols Gators game. And line is open, 813-699-0834. Jared, you can go call in. Dusty, you can call in. Matt Marino, Mike Arline, who's my other closet Dodger guy, go in and call in. I'm here. I'm waiting. We'll see if anybody on Facebook. Like I said, I told people on Facebook, you need to get over. You need to get over to YouTube. You need to get over to YouTube. But if they did, we'll see. If not, such is life. Such is life. So I am closing this up. So come on, get your calls in. We got some folks and things to talk about. And like I said, we know. We already discussed, like I said, that it's important, obviously, this weekend to remember our fallen. You know, and it's one of those things where I'm proud to be a veteran, and we have at least 2 days out of 365 to remember our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and coastmen. Well, you know. The swamp. Yeah, like I said, the swamp is for the UT game this year. I'd love to see Chris up in Knoxville, man. You know, going around Knoxville, I've always enjoyed going to Tennessee to watch. You know, go to Nashville. I've never been to Knoxville though, so that'd be really cool to go to. Raider Rev, I would. If you don't mind, Raider, I know you want to, but let's see if we can get some other folks to call in. Because otherwise, you know, I did this I did one time with, and actually I got to figure out where the hell he is Ruben. I had Ruben call in one time, twice, just because there was so much stuff that another caller said. And you know, we were a little slow, so I allowed him to call back in because it was worth it on that. But I'd rather have somebody else call in. Mike Arline, Matt Marinovich would be great. I'd love to hear from Matt. Who else we got there? Obviously, my other boy, my other Dodger fan, Ed Winchell. Jared, I know, is going to call in. Jared, you can call in right now and see how Pittsburgh is doing. Always good to hear from Jared. But the line is open. Somebody's got to call. I'm going to plug my phone in. I'm not going to be able to see who the hell is calling. So what do we got? Line is open, 813-699-0834. Like I said, for some reason we had an issue with the volume with the sound, and I don't know why. I don't know why we had the okay, it is charging. I don't know why we had the 4 sounds, the 5 sounds, and I don't know whether it was Mark, it is now, but when we started, there was like feedback. So I gotta figure out why there was like that never-ending echo, the never-ending echo. It was the only reason that we had it was when I had on OBS, and for some reason it was going through, like just the never-ending echoes. So I got to figure out why that's going on. Pro wrestling, yeah, okay. Pro wrestling in Vegas. Sure, we can talk about it. We will talk about it. If you want to call in, we'll talk about it. I'll admit that, I am not as up on the WWE as a lot of people are. I mean, to be honest, we all know that the WWE is entertainment. It's entertainment in the form of a sport. It's not real. It's good entertainment if that's what you're into. And I tell you, it's big money. It's big money for those that watch it. It is entertaining because I've heard from, the wrestlers that, they don't know who's going to win until they get a sign from somebody that cues them as to who is going to be able to do their signature move, and they win. So a lot of the guys don't know who's going to win until X amount of time in the match. So they kind of play it close to the vest. They let the one guy, do some things, and they let the other guy do some things, and never to a point where, you know who's going to win. So in that respect, it is unique. But I've just never been that much of a fan of it. Jared, talk to me, brother. How you doing?
Good, Captain Jack. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. So you wanted to talk about wrestling?
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you, there was a big wrestling event last night in Vegas at the MGM. It was $50. I mean, the son of the American Dream and his other son, we're fighting at the MGM. You talk about a bloodbath. These guys went 30 minutes long. You talk about one of the most intense matches in wrestling wrestling in the last maybe 10 years. The Rhodes boys, Cody Rhodes and Dustin Runnels, however, go figure. Dusty Rhodes would have been proud of his 2 sons last night. They had this new organization called All Elite Wrestling. Tony Khan, the son of the guy who owns the Jaguars and the half of the soccer team in the UK, however, he's worth more than Vince McMahon itself, but he was charging people to purchase this last night for $60. But I'll tell you what, the crowd in Vegas saw a good show. My friend ordered it last night in her place in Virginia. I saw the highlights today. Right now, I would say the state of pro wrestling with this new group, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, which is going to be doing a monthly show, they're going to be going on TNT starting up in the fall, they're going to give Vince McMahon and the WWE, a lot of competition, believe it or not.
Yeah, and Matt makes a really good point. Vince McMahon, because of and again, I don't know Vince McMahon personally, I don't, but what I'm telling you is everything that I've read about him is that he is the corrupt miser that screws people over, and that there is no such thing as as guys getting away from him. That's why John Cena walked away. Am I hearing echoes again?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, as far as I know,
Okay.
No.
I'm hoping not. But anyway, Vince McMahon has done enough of the negatives for that sport that there would, if there is a product that is out there that would be better for folks to watch and enjoy, then I think that they will, in fact, give the WWE a run for their money, and it will be better for the consumers out there because they want to see a better product, and they don't want to have the like a guy like Don King and Bob Arum control things so much that they screw over their athletes. And these guys are athletes in order to do all the things that they do. That they're actors and athletes together, and it's a fantastic product. I just didn't really. I mean, when I was young and I didn't know any better, you mentioned the guys. Dusty Rhodes to me was the man. Growing up in Florida, if you didn't know who Dusty Rhodes was, then you were way out of it. I still didn't watch a lot of it, but I knew who Dusty Rhodes was. I knew who Bobby Heenan was, and I know who Jim Dugan was. Again, I'm mixing eras, but I did know the people I needed to know.
Back then, also you had your own territory too, like the Mid-Atlantic Championship. Like you mentioned, Florida was a big hotbed. The Grahams were very big in Florida. The Hulk Hogan's and Dusty, like you said. The thing with Vince, though, is how for the last 15 years, ever since he bought out Turner, ever since he bought out Extreme Championship Wrestling up in Philadelphia, Paul Heyman, he thinks how he can run his way. The problem with WWE and wrestling now is you don't have an off season. You're traveling almost every week, however, 52 weeks out of the year. You're in like the same city 4, 5, 6 times a year, and you're going international, like places in Europe. I mean, they're doing a show in Saudi. It's weird. I mean, they're doing a show tomorrow night in Kansas City, Tulsa on Tuesday. Then you go to Texas next week, then you got to fly over to Saudi Arabia, turn right around, go back 16 hours, however, and go to California right after that. There's no rest for the weary at all. It's time to start cutting back your travel. And like I said, Vince thinks, however, with this Fox television deal coming up in the fall in October on Fox, with Ronda Rousey, and now with Brock Lesnar, like his cash cow, that's going to challenge this new organization, AEW, which just got signed by the Turner Network on TNT. I mean, they're going to start doing their weekly show on Tuesday or Wednesday nights, I think, the end of September, first week of October. And you know what, Howard? I think right now Vince is scared. For the first time in a long time, Vince is petrified because last night there were some things, Howard, that this AEW group did, Howard, that WWE would just say, you know what, Howard, they're just a minor league company. They're just starting up on them. They're no competition us. Well, guess what? It seemed like more fans were surprised in putting their $60 into this pay-per-view last night and seeing a pretty good show. And plus, what our tickets were at the MGM last night that you were going to the arena. So, yeah, I think right now it's time to start realizing the problem with Vince is also, Howard, he realizes he continues to push the same guys over and over again, like the Brock Lesnar's and but at the same time, they just got to start cutting back their TV and production, Howard. That's what AEW is going to start doing. They're going to start slow and build their way up. But I think within the next few years, I think the WWE, which has been around since Vince's father owned it in the 60s, Howard, and I started watching it in the 80s. And then I took a break, Howard, for a while before I started watching it again in high school. I think within the last 5 or 6, 7 years, Howard, the WWE is just continuing to drop like a stone. I mean, Vince has lost touch with all of his wrestlers, and all of his wrestlers are walking out of the company because they're tired of his attitude and the way his whole family operates. I mean, he's got a son-in-law, his daughter, and that. I mean, they run the company. But the thing with Vince is he's lost touch with so much of the common fan, however. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that if I'm reading some of the comments as well, and I'm going to get to them as well. Dusty's talking about having the AEW having a hell of a show. The WWE is becoming complacent and things along those lines. I can see that. The one thing is as well is that Vince knows that there are things that need to be done, and he's actually, that's one of the reasons why he's doing the XFL again, is because he wants to have some product that he can fall back on. Now, if the XFL doesn't have the same mistakes that the AAF did, then they might be able to be a decent inroads into guys that are playing football in the spring that want to have aspirations for the NFL. If they don't get too big for their britches, the XFL may be a good product for sports people, but it's going to be up to Vince McMahon to see if he can take a golden cash cow and see if he's going to ruin that too. So we'll see what happens there. But again, I think the AEW, from what I've been hearing, will be something that maybe even a man like me that doesn't normally watch wrestling would go and watch a show that the AEW has, especially if they got along the lines of Turner, with Turner Broadcasting and the millions of dollars, actually probably quote unquote, the billions of dollars that it can throw at a product. There will be something good that the AEW might be able to use for its benefit.
Well, like I said, Tony Khan is a smart, shrewd guy, and his son is too. And I think right now, like I said, if you get a chance, go back and watch the Rhodes match last night with Cody and his other son, Dustin. Like I said, this was like a 30-minute match, and there's one spot in the match where Cody hits his brother, and the buckle there's no steel cable at all. He hits him so hard. I mean, he's dripping blood like a fountain.
Wow, and they were fighting each other?
Yeah, they fought each other last night. That was one of the marquee matches last night in Vegas. And like I said, at the end of the night, the fans were standing applauding. And, I mean, like I said, it started out good, and it did not disappoint at all. And like I said, after Cody came up to him and he said, there's one thing I need to ask you, however. I mean, Dustin's like 50 years old. I mean, his older brother, Dustin, like I said, Dusty's son, the Goldust has been in the business for about 15, 20 years. Cody's like 32, 33. His wife's in the business, Brandy, who's Dustin's sister-in-law. I mean, like I said, this AEW is going to take off like crazy. And like I said, starting in September or October, they're going to do a Tuesday or Wednesday night show, either 8 to 10 or 9 to 11, depending on what time and slot they do. But like I said, after what happened last night, the AEW knocked it out of the ballpark last night. No question.
Well, let me ask a question. Did the WWE lose its rights so Raw is not on anymore?
No, Raw's still on USA. They're still on Monday nights, however. They lost the SmackDown rights on Tuesday starting in September because they're going to Fox with this television deal, however, coming up in October. They're going to lose it on Tuesday night, however. They're going to keep Raw. They're still committed to Raw. They've been back on. There was that time where they were off on USA. They went to Spike TV and TNN for a while, and that kind of was a really blunder on their part. They went back to USA, and the ratings are not that strong anymore. They're actually 1.8, 1.9 for a rating per week, whereas 7, 8, 9 years ago when they were challenging WCW, I mean, they were blowing WCW out of the water on Monday nights.
Yeah. Well, like I said, so there's the AEW and the WCW and WWE. There's 3 organizations?
No, just 2. AEW and WWE. WCW got bought out back in 2001 by Turner. They closed up in 2001.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And then for a while there was ECW, of course, mind you. The only other organizations that are around anymore are like Ring of Honor, which is pretty decent, and you can find them on any cable station anytime. But there's also on AXS Television, New Japan Pro Wrestling. And New Japan Pro Wrestling is very popular. Very, very popular.
Okay, when you said let's talk about pro wrestling, I thought you were going to talk about the president and the sumo wrestlers out there in Japan.
No, like I said, I have my own talk show on Mondays. We talk on pro wrestling every Monday on my talk show and everything like that. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the AEW show. But like I said, I mean, Vince right now, like I said, I think a lot of people right now are just petrified at this point. A lot of people, like I said, 6 months ago, Vince thought this was not going to be a big thing. Well, like I said, after last night, it is a big thing. And then some. I mean, people have been talking about it for the last 24 hours. And like I said, it's come off really well. I mean, he even got some of his old guys from the WWE whose contracts ran out in WWE because they didn't re-sign with Vince. And they said, you know what, we'll go to the AEW and we'll make less money and we'll do the show once a month or something like that. Because I think they'll do once a month shows, Howard, and maybe once or twice a night like they do on TV, Howard. Once maybe taped and once live, Howard. And that's it. Once, maybe twice a week. And then that's their schedule. They got it easy so far, it looks like.
Well, you know what? It's probably better for the guys that are doing it as well because they're not getting so burnt out. And, you know, again, there's injuries there and there's mental exhaustion and physical exhaustion. If you have a good product and you're not over inundating the people with a product, if you do too much, then people get rather sick of watching the same thing. And the people that are doing it get sick and tired and physically they break down. So I think that the AEW in that respect will be a better product overall. And and as people can get out of their contracts, and that's the bad thing about these people that sign with WWE. If they have a contract that they can't get out of, they're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a couple of people right now, like Snoop Dogg's one needs. Sasha Banks is still locked in with Vince. There's this other group called the Revival. I think they were given about $500,000 originally to get. I think they were offered that much to stay. I don't know if they're going to stay or go. I mean, it's up to them. But like I said, I just think right now we're going to see what happens. But like I said, it's going to be interesting because, like I said, in the next. I don't know how much longer Vince wants to keep running. I mean, he's been running. I mean, all over facets of whether it be announcing, the president of Titan Sports, whatever. I mean, he's been working in that company since the early '70s. So I think it's time to step back, let Triple H's son alone, maybe Stephanie Starr start running the company, however, and just enjoy retirement. You know, go into retirement now because right now, every week it seems like the fans just are tired of seeing the same old stale product, and it's becoming more and more like what WCW was in the last few years. They were challenging WWE on the Monday Night Television ratings tower, and that is stale, lame booking.
That's right. I tell you what, Jared, give me your best out the door, shipmate.
Well, there's not much else to say out the door. All I can say is that for all you wrestling fans there who are looking to enjoy a product tower, get ready for AEW. AEW will be the future of wrestling and will continue to be the future of wrestling. And believe me, if you've not seen this pay-per-view yet, or if you did see it, definitely, I would like to, hopefully you will agree with me that Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes, however, stole the show last night.
All right. Well, you know what? You actually have interested and made me interested enough that maybe if I get the proverbial round to it, I will watch that. But if not, I will definitely at least watch a show upcoming. You've made me that much interested, and that's hard to get me to get interested in wrestling. So you've done that, Jared. So good on you.
No problem. All right. Well, you have a good Memorial Day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You take care, shipmate. Always good to hear from Jared in Pittsburgh. Jared is, I tell you, he's spot on, man. It's great seeing all of the things that we can talk about, you know, and we're talking about wrestling on my show. And again, I told you guys, I'm not a avid wrestling watcher. I know that's kind of like hard to say, but you know, that's nice, you know, that we had a good discussion and get with the good comments here. AEW. The captain might be actually watching an AEW show. So that's unique. That's different. But hey, I'm not poo-pooing it. It's sports and entertainment. There's athletes there. And if one brother is seriously kicking the other brother's ass, maybe this is real wrestling. And I would watch real wrestling. I watched wrestling in the Olympics for years. Why? Because it was real. It was real. You didn't know that it was all fake. I'd like to watch real wrestling to see guys go after each other and kick somebody else's ass. I do like watching MMA occasionally, not all the time, but I'll watch MMA. You know, the really good athletes in MMA like Silva and George, was it the French Canadian guy? You know, I'd watch them because it's good show and it's real. Doc, good hearing from you, brother. What's going on with you tonight?
Hey, how you doing, Cap Jack?
I'm good.
Hey, Jerry's got me interested in watching wrestling again. I haven't watched it forever.
Yeah.
I'm an old NWA fan, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. I remember that Florida Championship Wrestling, too. And you know, I'm more of the Blackjack Mulligan days. You know?
Well, like I said, I'm old, man. Like I said, Dusty Rhodes to me was, you know, the god. And Bobby the Mouth Heenan, right?
Oh, I remember Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race used to go back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Ric Flair came around.
Ric Flair.
Four Horsemen.
Woo! I'm sorry. I just had to do one woo. I tell you,
Doesn't the Raider Bear do that every opening too? I think.
Raider Bear gets loud, and he does do his shout. I'm not sure if it's an ode to Ric Flair or if it's just Raider Bear being a great.
I think he says the guy with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. I think. If I remember.
Well, I tell you, Joe Bear is always good. He's always entertaining in himself. You know, I enjoy I need to watch him more often, but I just get so busy. And then by the time 11 o'clock rolls around, I'm usually tired and beat. Occasionally I get a chance to log in and see him. I will be seeing Raider Bear and all the contemporaries. And by the way, if you haven't bought tickets yet, look for in August out in Merced, Raider Nation Explosion. It is in Merced. It's going to be a big time Raider Fest with music and again, super fans hate the term, but that's what we are. It's going to be out there in Merced, California. Look for it on Facebook. Go find out from Raider Bear and Raider Tone. They're the people to talk to.
I think he said his tickets are on sale and buy now like $10, $20 if you go wait till the gate.
That's right. Pre-sale is 10, and then 15 or 20. It's definitely an uptake if you want to get them at the gate. So buy them early. The one thing with Bear is that I told Bear, I said, dude, it's costing me like $400 or $500 to fly out there and back. And he's like, no, it ain't. I'm like, yeah, it really is. And that's just the plane fare. And then, of course, you got to find a place to stay too. So us folks on the East Coast, when we make an effort to go out there, we really are making an effort.
Oh, I agree with you. Them flights are getting more and more expensive as we go.
That's true. That's true. Hey, we're having
paying for all that new security, I guess.
What, my security?
Now
on the air,
Virginia, you can't get on the plane anymore unless you got that real ID, and that's coming up soon.
Yeah. I mean, and I tell you what, that's why the TSA folks and the DOT folks and all the other folks that are involved, having a real license and having a real, passport and all that. Yeah, they got to pay for it somehow, and it's not just by buying $300 screwdrivers and things like that. Like the military used to do with flights. But you got to pay for the realities of security. And I tell you what, one thing, and I'm gonna plug it, and they're not paying for me to plug it. If you have an opportunity to buy the I can't remember it's the World Traveler portion. If you ever go things overseas, the World Traveler, which kind of like TSA pre-check, but World Traveler, you get TSA pre-check thrown in there, and you go right through customs and you go right through the lines. I mean, it's the best. I want to say it's like $200, $250 for like about, I think it was at least 10 years or 5 years. It's a portion. I got to look at when my thing expires. But I'll do it every day of the week, man, because, again, I fly overseas, and it's great.
You're preaching to the choir, because me and you both know going through customs can be horrendous.
That's right.
And it's worth any price you can pay if to get pre-screened so you can get through quicker.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's worth every penny.
Yeah. I mean, when I went to England last year, just getting through, obviously they have lines for folks that are UK people and non-UK people. And, just showing them my, World Traveler, and obviously knowing what I do for a living, I breezed right through, man. It was wonderful.
Well, let's go back to baseball here for a second.
Sure.
I'd like to thank the Phillies for helping me with taking a couple of nicks out of them Brewers for me.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. I saw that, and your Cards, right?
No. I'm a Reds fan.
Oh, okay.
3 for the Cubs.
Well, I knew it was a team. I knew it was a team in red. I apologize for getting the wrong red team. I'm watching St. Louis
now, so that ain't too bad.
I'm sorry. What was that, Doc?
Only 6.5 back.
Hey. There's 120 days left, Doc. As we were saying, don't book. I mean, I know Raider Rev wants to book the Dodgers for the World Series. By the way, if the Dodgers go to the World Series, I'm going to go out. I have it from a very good friend of mine, and I don't I won't say who the source is. It's not Ray to Rev, but if the Dodgers go to a World Series, I'm going to fly out and go to a World Series game with a really good friend of mine and go to Chavez Ravine, which I've always wanted to go to. I've never been to a Dodger game, and see a World Series game if the Dodgers make it to the series. So if my Phillies don't make it, I'm kind of hoping that the Dodgers are there to make it so I can have something to say that I've gone to a World Series game. So that'd be fun.
Well, see, next week, though, we got to play Jared's team, the Pirates, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and
give a little dig into Jared there for a little bit.
There you go.
I like hearing him talk.
I want to hear the back and forth between you and Jared with that Reds Pirates series, and you guys can talk about that.
I'm hoping our bats are alive like they were this last week. I mean, we split with the Brewers, and then we took the Cubs. So if our bats are there, we might be a decent series. If our bats go cold again,
yeah,
their pitching will take us.
I tell you what, I think the Reds are playing the Phillies upcoming, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Here shortly, I believe. I think our next game will be the Nationals our next series will be the Nationals after the Pirates.
Okay, well, that one you guys got a good opportunity of winning because the Nationals suck bad. Or I'm sorry, I'm thinking
we're still below 500, but I'm hoping that soon, if we keep clawing like we are. I mean, we started 1-8, then we went 5-12, and now all of a sudden we're starting to catch back up. Will momentum still keep swinging our way? I don't know, but hey, if we could I'm just shooting for a 500 season, to be honest with you. It's been so long since we've had an 80-win season that 500 would be beautiful for us. To start building on.
Baby steps, man. Baby steps. And you guys got a lot of, if I'm not mistaken, your farm system has a lot of players that are respected. And that's one of the reasons why the Reds didn't get rid of a lot of players, and that they added some stopgaps with Puig and a couple other players that they brought in. And, obviously it was bad when what's his nose got injured. Scooter. There you go. They just need to have things fall their way. Wow, Puig is only batting 200, according to Steve Running. Wow, is he sucking that bad, Doc?
Well, let's be honest here about the two. I'm going to put some little math statistics out there for people and let them think about this. There's 162 regular season games.
Uh-huh.
The average player gets maybe 3, maybe 4, so about 3.5 at-bats. They play an average of 150 games, so usually about 200 is the average at-bat appearances when you take off walks.
Okay.
So if you're a 200 hitter at 200, and you take that to what a 300 hitter is at 200 at-bats, it's not but maybe 20 hits difference.
Yeah.
So 200 statistically is not a bad batter. And if you have 200 hitters, especially if they're in the 6 to 8 section of your lineup, that's not bad.
Yeah. Well, but you definitely got to be hitting at least 200.
Statistics.
Yeah. You want to be above the Mendoza line, that's for sure. You don't want to be batting 199 and below.
No.
Okay.
But
I was going to say what you're describing is similar to what the guy in Bull Durham was talking about. What's the difference between a 250 hitter and a 300 hitter? He says, was it just one extra base hit a week? One extra base hit a week is what it can keep you from, or the difference between like a hitter that's 250 and 300. So, he said one Gwark, one flare, one Texas chop, one of those, and it goes in just one extra hit a week. So yeah,
a bunt that falls in good for you, just like it happened this weekend against the Reds. That dude got a bunt single. I mean, you don't know what it could be, but it's not a whole lot of hits difference.
Right. It's not. So what else is going on other than that in misery there, Doc?
Just sitting here. I've watched a little bit of a car race today. got my Indianapolis. That's the only races of that I watched is the Indianapolis 500. You know, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, we talked about that, and it's actually on. If anybody missed it, I was looking. They did a replay on was it the NBC network? Was it channel 220? If you have DirecTV, they were. Let me see if it's still on. But they were doing a review or a replay, I should say, of the game, and my eyes are watering like a bitch again. Excuse my French. Yeah, it's still on. So if you got DirecTV, and I'm seeing what lap we're on here. I can't see right now. Looks like we're about ready to see a crash. Yeah, somebody's flaming, and then we got some debris. And the guy went right through two guys that were crashed. So the red flag's out. I don't know what lap we're on. So we're having a stoppage. So if you want to watch Indy 500, go ahead and do that.
Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 today.
Yeah. Who was the last person that did both of them in one day? Was it like Tony Stewart that did that?
He did it once, and John Andretti is the most famous one that's done both.
Okay. I know Tony
He's
did.
done it several times.
Yeah, I mean,
Tony's good.
That's a hellacious amount of driving, man.
And Danica Patrick's done it several times. She
did that too? Wow.
That's where she started. She started in Indy racing, not NASCAR.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know she was an Indy driver first. I just, as far as her doing the Coca-Cola 6 and then the Indy 5. That's
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a hellish. That was 1,100 miles in one day. She's
the only female to do both.
Yeah, and here's a trivia question: who is the first female driver to have gone and did the Indy 500? What's her name?
Oh, she used to do the funny car races. Oh, trying to think of her name. You got me. I can't think of it.
Janet Guthrie, and I remember that. That's one of those that you need to make sure you keep on your thinking caps. That's one of those bar questions, and not too many people will know. So again, if you guys want to have an easy bar bet, don't make it for $100 because some people actually will know it. But Janet Guthrie, I always remember that. And I was in the 70s, I think about like 78 or something like. Yeah, okay, yeah. Ed Winchell knew it. Well, he didn't spell it right, but we know he was Guthrie, Janet Guthrie. I got a chance. Oh, Steve Spaltour's got. Okay, what are my thoughts on the squad our Raiders put together racing? And he's friends with the Unsers. Steve Spaltour, talk to me, brother. I'd love to have an Unser. Oh, so let me see. There's Bobby Unser, and God, I remember Bobby. And it was like there's at least two of them.
Wasn't it?
There was Al. Was it Al and Bobby, right? Al Unser, Bobby Unser, and there was another Unser. I think there was at least two.
There was two Al Unsers, senior and junior. If I remember right.
Right. But I'm talking old school. It was Al Unser Senior and Bobby. Those were the two older brothers. And then Al Junior. So yeah, it's those. It's kind of like when you're in Andretti, you're definitely gonna be. You're going to be into racing. Steve, get a hold of me, man. I'd love to have one of the Unsers be interview for the show. That'd be great, man. You can get with me after that.
Oh, let me know. I'd love to listen to that show. That'd be interesting to see what he's got to say.
Well, it's up to Steve. If Steve can get them for me, we'll do that. All right, Doc, give me your best out the door, shipmate.
Go Raiders, and let's just remember our fallen shipmates. And whenever people say Happy Memorial Day, I turn that to think in my mind that I want to remember my fallen shipmates and happy thoughts.
That's right.
Have a good weekend there, buddy.
That's right. Hey, thanks again there, brother. Always good hearing from you.
You have a good night there, buddy.
You too. That's my boy Doc. Always good hearing from Doc. And like I said, I know that when people say Happy Memorial Day and Happy Veterans Day, I know that it's not meant bad. I know it's not meant bad. I understand that. It's just one of those things that it's you know what, it just this is off-putting. And thanks, Steve. You can see what you can do. Thank you. I mean, if you guys know anybody sports related, okay, and I got a chance to do, like I said, if I know people, I'm going to call them. And I've been kind of remiss in getting this done recently, but I got to get some folks in for the Wednesday shows. We'll do that. But if you know somebody, and I know that like Ed Winchell was going to try to do some things, and that there was a couple other people are going to get, I'd love to interview them, and we'll get them out here, and we'll all be in there for the thing. So again, if you know somebody, or if you know somebody, one of those things, we'll do that too. But line is open. Always good talking to Doc. And was it Mike Sarah's at a Loud Metal concert? Good for you, Mike. Good for you. As long as you continue to hear, brother. As long as you continue to hear. I don't know how old Mike Sarah is. I know he's not as old as I am, but I think I believe listening to Mike, getting for as far as where he might be age-wise, I'm thinking late 30s, maybe early 40s. But guys goes to the gym like a banshee. So I know he's in a hell of a lot better shape. I know that I gotta do that better. LHUX, Logano bringing up the top 5 at NASCAR. So is the Coca-Cola 600 on right now, Neil? If that's live, I'll put that on because I'm not going to watch the Cardinals game. That's probably a TNT. Let's see here. Well, I'm not going to watch Harry Potter. We got Rogue One. Come on. Oh, that's volume. Okay. Ooh, went by it. No. We got TBS. I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me. Oh, Channel 40. Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Channel 40. No, that to me, Channel 40 is got to be a different. I'm on DirecTV, so it's got to be something else, Ed. Whatever it is, if you can tell me what channel the Coca-Cola 6 is on, if you have DirecTV, great. Okay, Fox got there. Now I know what you're talking. So to me, that's Channel 13. There we go. NASCAR Monster Energy. There we go. That's the Coca-Cola 600. Thank you. I'm watching it now. So still be half your teeth to like NASCAR. And a zinger. From Dusty. My thoughts of losing the NFL Network? The NFL Network is going to be off of DirecTV? Wow. That's the first time hearing about it, Mike. The NFL Network, to me, I don't watch it a lot. I don't. It's good programming, but it comes down to me that I'll watch, the games obviously are on network, and I get DirecTV to watch my Raiders play. But losing NFL Network, that's harsh. Wow. I didn't realize that. Did not realize that. Watching the Coca-Cola 6 right now, looks like we just had a crash. And because we were talking, Kyle Larson was at the where it says Danica did the 500 and the Indy 500, not the Coca-Cola. Oh, okay. So she did. Okay, I know she did them both one day. I know that Tony Stewart did, but I thought it was the Coca-Cola 6 and the Indy 5. I might be mistaken. We'll see. My thoughts on the new squad. A question from Steve. Steve, call in, brother. Call in. We'll talk about it. But I've said this, and we were talking about when we were going through they have the first visions of the depth chart. And we were talking about, in fact, myself and Raider Rev were getting back in on that fact that it was surprising to me that J.J. Nelson right now is on the second team behind Antonio Brown. That was surprising. But, we went back and forth on that. And we were talking about, speed kills and things along those lines. If we're going to go depth chart-wise, let me bring the depth chart back up. Well, I got a second here. There we go. I can't see the comments, so you guys are going to have to deal with it. Squad-wise, it looks to be, okay, when you start looking at the third teamers, okay, we start looking at the third teamers. Let me see if I can get the comments over here so I don't lose the comments. Danica's wrecking in every race. I hate saying it. It is sexist as hell, but it's true. I've seen her wreck a bit much. So she wrecked in this one, then it just goes for par for the course. Looking at the depth chart in answering to Steve, I'm going first and second team. I go right down and I look at who we have available. And I'm like, wow, there's so many good guys. And I also look to see, on there's going to be some players that are third string right now that are making the team. Like, for example, right now, Max Crosby is sitting as a third teamer at defensive end, okay? But he's behind Morrow and Mayowa, okay? Sports gets boring. Can we talk about something else? Sports get boring after a bit. Sure, War Ready. What do you want to talk about? This is a sports show. If you want to, we're not talking politics. So if you want to talk politics, get off. Don't bother commenting, please, sir. If you want to talk things along those lines, this is a sports show, War Ready. I appreciate the comment, but this is what we talk sports here. There are plenty of other things to talk. If you want to talk politics or what's going on in the war or what's going on in the world, that's a what do you call it? That's a Freudian slip. You're gonna have to talk somewhere else. But I appreciate the comment, though. At least I know that you are one of my viewers. So thank you for being in the view. Want to talk calisthenics and jumping jacks? We'll go back to talking the squad for Steve. Again, I look at even like some of the third stringers. Okay, here's the thing. Draft picks: Isaiah Johnson, third stringer right now, very good chance of making the team. Okay, Tavon Coney, who is a linebacker. Very good shot at making the team, although he might make it to the practice squad. Okay. Crosby, I think, is going to be there as well, and he's a third teamer. And see, where we also have Quentin Bell right now is a four stringer. I'm pretty sure that Quentin Bell is either going to be on the IR. I think he's going to come down with a bad hangnail. I'm telling you, I can see that. Keelan Doss as well, right now a four-string wide receiver. But something tells me, and depending upon how fast he can run, and this is where this one time at band camp, you're killing me, Dusty. Do I watch TV shows? Yes, I do. I do watch TV shows. 1 second here. Let me get to this caller. Raider Neil, save me, brother. What are you talking about tonight? What's going on with you?
Hey, Captain, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. War Ready wants us to talk about TV shows or other things, but I'd rather talk sports. So let's talk some sports, Neil.
Okay, well, I've got two things on my mind. I don't know if you caught the news this morning, but the Raiders are now one of the youngest teams in the NFL, averaging 25.3 years old.
Wow.
Big turnaround from last year.
Yep.
And the other thing is, of course, Antonio Brown. Everyone pretty much is up on his stats, but PFF rated him today as the highest graded receiver of the decade.
Of the decade?
And that was from 2010 to 2018.
Wow.
No receiver had more yards, more passes caught. 15 touchdowns caught in 104 passes in 15 games. He had 837 receptions with 11,207 yards and 74 touchdowns. So I'm thinking that with Amari Cooper dropping the ball all the time, and the weapons we brought in to protect Carr, that we should have a much better season than we're getting credit for on ESPN, saying that we might win 6 games because of the tough season. I just don't feel that way.
Well, as I've said before, I should be from the state of Missouri, or Misery, as those that actually live there. Definitely you got to show me. I'm a show me. And I see the roster, and I was just talking about it when we were talking about the depth chart, that these guys that are sitting at third string right now are quality players, and that when we cut down to 53, there's going to be a lot of players that we cut that are going to be picked up by other teams and are going to start immediately, because the quality of our depth chart right now is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But here's the thing: until they play together, until they hit the lines together, until they go to the meetings together, get out on the field together, and mesh as a unit, it's a bunch of individual guys that look good on paper that we need to see if they're going to be of the same constitution when it comes to a team. TEAM, a team. And if that goes through, then I can see positives. But I'm not going so far as everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but there's a few people. Raider Revs one, and Ed Winchell's, I think, is another one. People that are picking us to win the AFC West. Now, other than Helmet Head being goaded into it by his cohort in crime at BSPN, okay, there's a lot of positives out there, okay? The thing is, though, is that I like the individuals that we have put on this roster, but I need to see them play together, okay?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good assessment. Nobody knows if they'll get along, if they'll start the same antics that AB had going on in Pittsburgh, but I just don't think so. I think that the type of coach that Mr. Gruden is will, within 2 years, bring it all together to the point of where most Raider fans will be happy. I think then we'll be challenging for the AFC West title, at least.
I agree.
2020.
I agree with that. I firmly believe that this is the year. This is that middle year before next year when we go to Vegas. I firmly believe, sight unseen, that if the players that we have now that mesh, that make the guys that make the final 53 now go through this full year, one more year of an off season where the guys are getting better, the team is getting better, and we have another free agent class that is as wonderful as the one we've had this year, and with some dynamic draft picks in 2020. Next year, I firmly believe the Raiders obviously will win the AFC West and will be a strong candidate, sight unseen anybody else, but a strong candidate to go past the opening round of the playoffs. Okay. Will they have a record next year strong enough to where they might get a first round bye? It depends, but I can see that. They have the makings of a very strong team. And I firmly believe that when they get to Vegas, 2020 is going to be a playoff year for the Raiders. And I can also say that I firmly believe that by 2022, we'll have a Super Bowl championship within our midst. I can see that too. And I hope I'm alive to see it.
I agree with that, but I think we might actually surprise you this year. Now, I know it's tough, and I know I'm glass half full, bubbling over with optimism, but based on our performance last year, especially with the rotating door of revolving players coming in and out and injuries, we didn't have much to work with, and Gruden really was under the gun.
He was.
I mean, a lot of fans wanted him fired, and they didn't believe he was the one. And I don't know if he is or not, but I know that this year, don't be shocked if we win like 9 or 10 games.
Oh, I would, like I said, I'm not poo-pooing that. I'm not saying that all of my fans that are prognosticators that have us doing very well this year, I'm not saying that you're high. I'm not. What I'm saying is that until I see it actually come to fruition, okay? Until I see it actually come to fruition, I'm always going to be on the pessimistic, glass half empty side, because if I look at things, I don't want to say negatively, but analytically, in a worst possible scenario, anything that's above and beyond that makes me feel a hell of a lot better. But because because I'm hedging my bets on the way this team is built, and right now I'm loving the way that this team is built. But God knows, and I'm going to knock wood as soon as I say that. What's to say that Derek Carr doesn't get injured the first game of the year, just like Tom Brady did the year that he was out? Knock wood, knock wood, knock wood. Okay? Who's to say that there's a rash of injuries? Who's to say that bad shit happens every week and we're 0-16? Now, I don't think that's going to happen. What I'm going to say is, until we see things play out, the unknown of what is going on in the future can rear its ugly head. I firmly believe that
let's not talk about that, Captain. I mean, I'm not even Catholic, and I just crossed my forehead after you said that. So I'm knocking on wood, and
there you
my
go.
toenails are crossed here. So
that's right.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That's for sure. It's I just feel like this is the best draft we've had. I mean, I know, in the late 90s, we got some guys in there, Howie Long and everybody, and we had some great seasons when we started winning the NFC West, got our way up to the Super Bowl, and then, it was really a disappointing performance, especially with our center not showing up.
Yeah.
But I just think that this season we'll have something to feel good about. The fans that stuck with us last year, God bless them. They're made out of gold, I'll tell you what, because they carry the Raiders. We are the nation. The members, the fans, we actually are the nation. So
I agree.
This year we will have something to be proud of.
And like I said, I firmly believe that this is going to be a block building year, whether the record is indicative, notwithstanding. I firmly believe that even if our record is if our record is only 7-9, that our team is better than what the record indicates, because this is the year.
Oh, hell yeah. I take 7 and 9 any day over 12. Yeah,
this is the year. Now remember, Gruden version 1.0, 8-8, 8-8, third year 12-4. Okay? It was that third year that everybody that went over the top. And remember, the last game of that second year at 8-8 was going to Kansas City and beating Kansas City, that last game in Kansas City that took them out of the playoffs. And we went from being a 7-9 team, or a 7-8 that could have been 7-9, to make it to 8-8. And that was that blockbuster step building that put that team together. Okay. And this year we end in Denver. Okay. Now, granted, Denver has not been strong the last several years. So who's to say what's going to go on? But we got that stretch at the very beginning. We got 2 home games, and then we're gone from Oakland for about 6 weeks. Okay. Even though we're playing that home game in London, you were gone away for 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks away, of which one of them is a bye. Those 5 games are going to be indicative of how this team could play together and gel against a very, very strong core, okay? Because we're playing Indianapolis week 3. We're playing Minnesota. We're playing in Green Bay, I believe, in one of those 5 games. Those are tough games. We're playing Chicago, obviously, in London. There's a lot of tough games there. Okay. So
yeah, tough games. And London hasn't been fair to the Raiders either. So we travel more than any other team, even without the overseas games. But no, I agree with you on that point. It's God forbid anything happens to DC4, but I think our fans will be happy. And I don't remember now if it was the Reverend AJ or Ed Winchell that mentioned how important it is to win those first 2 games this year. And I feel the same way. If we can win those 2 games, it'll set a good precedent for us going off on a long road trip.
I agree. Remember, Denver Monday night, and then coming back the following Sunday against Kansas City at home, Indy week 3. And then, I think Minnesota is week 4, and I'm going to all those games. Okay. And I want to, and then week 5, I believe, is Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, in London. So I'm going to the first 4. The London game we'll see about. But again, I want to see the progress made. And when I do my shows, and you guys are already here on YouTube, so I'm going to be here doing the shows on Sunday nights. I want to see the progress each week after the show, after the games, doing the self-assessment after the games, doing the call-in show where we talk about it. And, I want folks to make sure that they know that, hey, we're going to talk about it. Captain Jackson will talk about it. I'm going to talk about it when I do the call-in to, not XTRA, KDON in Vegas. I do the call-ins there. We're going to see, hopefully, a progression of the team building together. So by the time we come back to Oakland after those 6 weeks, there's no reason why we can't use that as a turning point, a starting point, a point we would get that much stronger and go through the rest of the season. It's going to be tough, but I want to see how much we build together through those games. Hey, if we can come out and be maybe even 500 at that point, okay? If we're 3-3 by the end of that series, or maybe 3-4, or even 4-4 by the midway point, there might be something to say that we go through, and maybe we're 10-6 at the end, or 9-7 at the end. But we got to get it together during those 6 weeks.
I can agree with that. Yeah, that's a good assessment. And as bad as last year was, we gelled in the later half of the season.
We did,
even though we had a lot of different players coming and going. So I know that our coaches that we have now, have the talent to take guys like that and get it all together. So, I mean, I realize I'm the kind of fan that I'm still watching if we lose the first 3 games. But
yeah.
You know how it is. I love my Raiders, and I don't have much time here, Captain. I'm the cook around here, so I'd like to say happy Memorial Day, and hope you guys have a safe Sunday evening. Well, it's still evening out here on the West Coast, and a great Monday. And go Raiders.
Oh, great. Hey, thanks again, man. And always good hearing from you, Neil. You take care and call back again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. That's Raider Neil. Raider Neil's a great fan as well. And again, it's good hearing from everybody. Hey, Tom Brady's on. I love everybody. Hope everyone has a great day. Well, thanks, Tom. Thanks for calling in, or commenting. It's good to hear from Tom Brady. Making comments on a Don't Know Jack About Sports show. I mean, we had, I guess we were getting some really good celebrities. We had Hillary Clinton on was it Thursday? Hillary was here. Welcome to the show, Tom. Thanks for commenting. Tom, if you want to call in and talk about your Patriots, we can do that as well. Actually, I'd rather talk to Giselle though. I want to hear, how Giselle's been doing, and maybe she can throw some money my way. And this way I can take care of getting all these things done to pay off the loan that I have for this home edition. But that's always good. But again, Tom Brady, thanks for commenting. Always good to hear from folks. Line is open. We have you're welcome there, Tom. Good to hear from you. Again, I enjoy all of our I'm not gonna show that, Matt. I'm not gonna show that, Matt. But he's allowed to comment on. I don't know who Tom Brady is, but thanks for joining the show. I actually there's some friends that are some of my friends are big Patriots fans. It's the old thing where these are your friends, and it's one of those. It's good to hear from folks. We got an unknown caller. We'll see who this is. 770. Who am I talking to? Hello.
You there?
Yes, I am. Who am I speaking to?
I figured the better looking, smarter Haley brother should call in and say hey to you tonight.
Oh, Todd, good to hear from you, brother.
I've been watching you. I just got home from work, and Chris told me you called you, so I said, "Man, I got to give you a call and say hey real quick."
Again, so I get both of the Haley brothers. I tell you, this is wonderful. Again, to all of my viewers out there, Todd and Chris are my cohorts in crime from elementary school through high school, and we all played football together. And it's always good to get hear from the fine redheaded Haleys of the UT. Everything is great club, so it's good hearing from everybody.
Yeah, the Religious Balls Club.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It is a religion for us. You know that.
Oh, I guess for sure.
Yeah, and you let everybody know that you and I actually played chess together in the 6th grade in elementary school.
How bad did you beat me?
I was the number 1 seed in the chess club.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. We're getting old, brother.
You know what? The fact that you were talking to me about playing chess and see, if you were 6th, I was 5th, so it would have been Mr. Shear's class.
Yep, that's right.
And the funny thing is that a Navy captain that is here at CENTCOM that was in the enriched class after that, which obviously Miss Newell took over. He is actually one of my bosses that I work with at CENTCOM, and he's with the enriched class over in Durham. So very small world we live in.
That's great.
It is.
Yeah, that's great. My sister and my brother-in-law are down there in Tampa at SOCOM.
Okay. Well, you'll have to give them my information and tell them to get a hold of me over there as well.
Yeah, he was honored at the Lightning game I guess it's been a few months now, as
with Tampa Bay Lightning. The family was honored there.
Oh, okay.
It was a really, really great deal. It really was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to call you. I tell you that I look and see Howie Long in the back, and I think about all the great Raider players. Vilipiano and Lyle Alzado, and of course the Snake, and Volitnikov, Jack Tatum. That was back in the day when the guys, they played because they loved the game and they loved to tear people's heads off.
That's right. That's right.
I do. I kind of miss that a little bit. I'm not in the pro as much as I used to be. It's funny how you could name guys from bygone days from all the different teams. And of course, we're thinking about the Bart Starr family tonight, and I'm sure you've already mentioned he passed away, I guess, this morning or late last night.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
All those greats that played because they loved the game, not just for the coin. And I like I said, I see Howie Long in the back, and it's like, man, you kind of just long for the old days on the with the football. The old Raider and Steeler games that were just great to watch them go at each other, and it wasn't all about money; it was all about winning the game.
I tell you, it's always good, and Todd, I know you can attest to this as well. When you watch and that's probably one of the things that I will miss. I was just told by Mike Arline that the NFL Network allegedly is going away on DirecTV. And the one thing that I do watch on the NFL Network religiously is, America's Game and the players of yore.
Yeah.
That I'll miss because you watch what the old timers did and how they played the game. And when you get a chance to talk to people that I've had a chance to talk to, like Henry Lawrence, who actually lives a little bit away, and we're going to talk with him hopefully in the house when the house gets done. And we also have some people like a couple other folks that I want to have in studio with me as well. And you listen to them talk about, the procession from folks that played in the 60s and 70s to the guys that played more recently in the 80s and 90s, and then obviously to the generation now, and how the love of the game, it's not as fiery in the players of today as it was in the days that we were growing up in the 70s. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
But, I'd love to have more exactly the passion. When you listen to Phil Villapiano, and you were just talking about it, Phil Villapiano would love to take somebody's head off. And, Jack Tatum, may he rest in peace as well. And George Atkinson, when they were going over the middle, and even players on opposite teams like Jack Lambert, who was the only person who was the only person that was ever in a poster at Ricky's Sports Bar in San Leandro, which is a Raiders bar. And I asked Ricky, I said, Ricky, what the hell is Jack Lambert doing up poster-wise in Ricky's Sports Bar? And he said, hey, Jack Lambert was a beast, and that man should have been on the Raiders. And I said, you know what? I can respect that because the guy was.
Right.
The guy was. The guys that played in those days. And, I know we're called dinosaurs and, those old farts that don't know nothing. Yeah. But we saw the way we played. When we played football as kids, we had that same love and passion that maybe only 1% of the players had. And maybe I'm being a little harsh on the characterization of the players of today, because remember, we always went to school walking both ways up a hill in a snowstorm and then in 1,000-degree heat. I understand that. Exactly. That's the way old timers are. But I really would like to see the passion for the players of today. And we need to have that back. And it's good to see some players that they play with that passion. And the way that we were talking about, again, I'm going to plug Antonio Brown here. Antonio Brown seems to have that passion. Yeah, he's a bit squirrely on what he does in the mass media market, but at least he seems to like to play passionately, and I like to see that about him. That's one of the reasons why Gruden got him on the team. So I hope that we got that as a Raider fan.
I think it was a great steal for the Raiders, and I say steal because Pittsburgh should have never let him go. But you think about the old days, and even not too long ago, guys like Hines Ward, who knocked your head off and then smile at you.
Yep, and dirty player.
And he may have been dirty, but he
had that passion
because he loved it.
That's
not
right.
Just because of the check. He loved making the worms come out of your nose. And that's what I kind of miss. And Sue, he gets labeled as a dirty player. And maybe rightfully so, but you can tell the guy does play with some passion, and he loves to make the worms come out of somebody's nose when he hits them.
Oh yeah, and I tell you what, that's going to be a hellacious pickup for the local Buccaneers. And at 9.25, that's a good signing. And while I got you on as well, what do you think? What's your take? Because this is as a unbiased person, and Todd is very knowledgeable in football. For folks that don't know. With Gerald McCoy being out there, and with Sue getting a $9.25 million contract, Gerald McCoy is not worth $9.25 million. But who should pick up? Who, in your estimation, would be a good candidate to pick up Gerald McCoy? Which team and for how much money?
I tell you what, I'd like to see. I'm in Atlanta now, and I would love to see Atlanta really get somebody that like we talked about, has the passion to make the worms come out of somebody's nose. Atlanta doesn't really, have that they don't strike fear in anybody's heart.
Yeah.
The old Raiders, man, they would strike fear into somebody's heart. And, I tell you, man, this town a couple of years ago, 28-3, and you blow a Super Bowl lead like that.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm telling you, it still hurts, and it's going to hurt for a long time. I mean, I was calling Sports Academy in the third quarter, telling them, "Hey, you guys are going to stay open past midnight, right? Because I'm going to be down there to buy the Super Bowl gear." And then I hang up, and the whole world just, that's here in Atlanta, there's a talk about the Georgia curse.
Yeah.
The only team to ever break it was the Braves, and they have only really done it that one time. That was, in the 90s. And, now we all talk about, Georgia's not going to do it. And, the Braves aren't going to do it. And the Falcons, of course, had it in hand, and it went bye-bye. So, I would love to actually see the Falcons pick up somebody that strikes fear into somebody's heart.
Well, I tell you, having Gerald McCoy play for the Falcons would be a good thing, because Gerald knows that he's going to play his old team twice a year. And if Atlanta, in fact, when I was rolling through Atlanta, coming back and forth from the draft, and I wish I would have known you were in Atlanta. I would have stopped by to see you as well. So I was there for a couple of days.
Yeah, man. You come by Atlanta, if you've got a night to spend, you've got a bed here, man.
Well, then I'll have
some food. Maybe a beer or two.
I'll meet you at Fat Matt's, because my best friend from high school lives in Atlanta. We'll all get together.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Okay.
I would. I'd love that, brother.
Well,
if you get up Atlanta way, you definitely need to give me a holler.
Todd, I definitely will as well. And it's always good hearing from you. And like I said, I appreciate you and Chris watching the show. I mean, it does my heart good that I got both Haley brothers on. And now I don't want to pick is your father still alive, sir?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And let me tell you, Jody, sorry, guys, he's always going to be Jody to me. He is still the Master Chief. At 76 years old, he was Command Master Chief at Nuclear Power School twice, and he was the cob of a couple submarines. And let me tell you, the guy is still the Master Chief. They're going to have MMCM on his headstone.
That's
one
right.
Of these days.
That's right.
But he's doing well. He went up to Tennessee and worked with Mark Marietta in their nuclear program, and he's retired now, but they're still up in Tennessee.
Well, I wanted that, and I wasn't sure, and I didn't, I didn't want to broach that subject, kind of,
Oh yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it.
But you tell your dad that I give him my best, and I always try to evoke, that being a member of the mess was obviously one of the best things that ever happened to me. And you've seen my my Captain Jack garb. You see that anchor?
I've showed it to my my middle son. I told him that, I should, because when you were, I guess in London, you were on TV there for a little bit, or some kind of promo on the TV. And I made sure and showed him your picture. He's, to be honest with you, my middle son is a sophomore at UGA, and he is big into Premier League soccer. And I know you guys probably don't talk a whole lot about that, but
we will if he calls.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you, he's at work, but one of these days I'm going to have him call you, and he can talk to you about soccer, the world of soccer. He or as they call it, football.
Football.
And,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And he knows about that and follows that pretty heavily. But and then the other thing is, we definitely have to maybe see one of those Tennessee Florida football games together.
Oh, well, like I said, Chris has invited me up there. So you guys get me a ticket when it goes to Knoxville, and you, me, and Chris, and whoever else wants to come along will be, I'll enjoy the hell out of it. Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes.
Yeah,
I'll enjoy that.
Times. Yeah, they're great times. Well, I got to work in the morning, brother. And I just wanted to say, hey, just let you know that I'm watching when I can, and I really do enjoy listening to you.
Well, hey, again,
and
Todd, great, man. Thank you for watching. Get the word out that the old fart here wants more wonderful people to watch from the show, and we'll talk sports anytime.
All right, brother. You take care, man.
All right. Take care. Thanks again, Todd.
All right, buddy. Bye.
All right, bye. There we go. I had the pleasure, one show, both Haley brothers calling. And again, being a service brat, as Chris and Todd and myself are, our fathers were in the Navy. Again, I apologize for my getting that when I get my tired eyes, and I forgot to get the damn what do you call it, drops before I go on the show. My eyes get so damn tired. I have an eye migraine, and it just waters like a bitch. I mean, I'm probably going to have to start wearing my eye patch, which is, and I would be wearing it on the right eye, the correct eye, because this is the one that always seems to water the most. So you'd think that I'm wearing it for a laugh, but I'm not wearing it for a laugh. It's because my eye is watering bad. But I've enjoyed having folks come on tonight. In fact, let me do this real quick. There we go. Hopefully we won't have, can you guys, do you guys hear me again and again and again? I want to know if you guys are hearing me again and again and again. I want to know if it's this. Okay. Cause I know that when I started the show and I had my speakers on, that it was echo, 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 echo. Okay, good. So I wanted to know that, because if we're going to do the show right, and get ready here. Let's see here. Huh? Of course, I need to do this correctly. There we go. Okay. We're going to do the show right. We're going to do things correctly. We are going to have our outro music, because I've enjoyed the show. And my outro music. Oh, you know what? I didn't flip the it's not the sound that I wanted it to be. That's probably one of the things. I would probably have to switch this. No, I'll do that right now. We'll see if that's working. Well, there's my Bose speakers. There's my Captain Jack music again. Thank you for joining me tonight. You don't know jack about sports. We're always enjoying ourselves here. Remember, every Thursday and Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, we're doing our shows. Thanks for everybody that joined me. Thanks for everybody that commented. Go ahead and put this out. You can make when it comes on, share it up to everybody. I've always enjoyed getting a chance to check with everybody. I'm Captain Jack, and I enjoyed being here. We'll see you again for the next show. Definitely Thursday. I'll see if I can pull something on Wednesday, but we'll see you. Until then, yeah! Have a wonderful holiday tomorrow. And remember the fallen on Memorial Day. Take care, everybody. Good night.